Good morning and welcome to this video tutorial on how to send an SMS using your Zoom Connect account. So in order for you to send an SMS, you first have to have that person's contact details on the system. The easiest way to do so is to actually use our Zoom Connect import template. I would suggest using our template because it would streamline all the processes going forward, which means you don't have to match columns in your own personal templates and so on. So to get a hold of our template, you'd go to Contacts and Groups, click on Import, and then at the bottom there's a blue link that says Download Import Template. Click on that. It should automatically download to your PC. You can then open that, and then you should see our standard import template. Now the minimum that is needed to actually send a message to a client is just a telephone number. I would suggest that you put in a first name and a last name as well as a group. This just allows you to personalize your messages even better for when you want to send them. So I am going to now call, let me put in an example. So I'm going to put in my name or my last name and first name. Okay, and I'm going to add it to the group test. Then I'll say file, save. Alright, so now I actually want to import that information into the system. So I remain on the Contacts and Groups tab, click on Import. I say choose file, and then you just head over to where you actually saved your stuff. So I'm going to click on that, say open. Alright, so now what you should see is an example of all the information you put into the template. So it tells you the name of your column headings as the template that you submitted. So it was title, first name, last name, number. And then it gives you an example, and then let's say that your columns over here were not matching Zoom's. You'd actually have to go and match them on the right. So for an example, if it says title here, it would have given you an example of what your information says from your template. So from your template it's saying that your first column's name is title, an example of that information is Mr. And then on the right hand side you would have to go and select what kind of information is displayed there. So already you can see, because you use the Zoom Connect import template, it's already aligned in the correct way. So you don't have to worry about aligning things now. But if you wanted to import your own stuff without using our template, then you'd have to come and align and just specify what this information displayed here is. So if this was a telephone number, you would click here and you would say contact number. But in this case, everything is aligned, so we don't have to worry. Once you are ready, you can say import contacts, and then it should tell you that it was imported successfully. You can then click on done, and your number should appear here. Okay, so now to send a message to that telephone number, you can go click on the SMS tab. You can either go put in your telephone number manually over here, 10 digits. That's if he's not on the system. If he is on the system, you can just go select Contacts and Groups. Okay, if you had 10,000 contacts, you could search him over here. But if you know the group that you added the person to, you can just click on the drop down and you can select the telephone number from there. So let's say I'm just going to go to the group test. I can see my telephone number is in there, the one that I used earlier. Then you can just say add group to list. Alright, you can see there were two telephone numbers on the left. When I added it, there were two contact numbers in here to the group name test. But I'm going to remove that just to show you again. Remove from list. I can click on the group test again. If I just want to add one of those contact numbers, I can just tick the box and say add selected. Alright, so it now says Marnus Fourie, telephone number 072 da 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 da. Alright, okay, but let's send it to the group. So I'm going to click on test. There the two numbers are. Add group to list. The group name is test. There are 2 contacts. Accept. Alright, so now automatically it appears under recipients, which means these are the people that will receive the message that you're going to create. Now, because my name and surname was put into the template, I can actually click on name and surname, and then it will personalize the message. So it would say, Marnus Fourie, please note that your number is different. It's just an example. So then every message that you send to the people in this group will have their name and surname displayed before you actually have the SMS. On the top right, you can see a summary of the number of characters that have been used. Now 160 characters is your standard SMS. Right now we are at 43, which means we will only use 1 credit. Alright, now because we are sending to 2 contacts and we're still under 1 credit, it means we're going to use 2 credits. So do you see that the total credits used is 2? So it gives you a summary of the credits you can use, but I'm not going to personalize my message. So you can just go there, press backspace, backspace again. Alright, leave your message as it is. Now you can choose, do I want to send my message now or schedule to send it later? If I say send now, I can just click on send and it will pop off the message and your credits will decrease by 2. However, if I want to schedule to send it for later, I can click on schedule to send later. I can then click on the date that I want to send it and then also the time. But for our purposes, we are going to send it now. Okay, so the group we are sending it to is test, and within that group, I'm going to give it a campaign name of interest. Right, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to send to the group called test with a tag or campaign name that says interest. So when the people who I sent to in the test group reply to my message, it will have a tag in my inbox that says interest. Now this is just to know that it's just to keep track of what people are replying for. So let's say you wanted to let your test group know about interest rates. If that person replies to interest, then you will know he's actually replying to interest rate queries that you send out to your clients. So I'm going to head over and say send. So it says that 2 messages were sent. If you go to your sent messages, you'll see your delivery status and who you are sending it to. Now currently it is blue, which means it's pending to go through to my cell phone. Once it goes green, it means that it's been delivered to the handset. Alright, so you can also see what message you sent to that person. So let's go click on one of the messages and you can see that I sent the message, your number is different, to my cell phone. Okay, so once it has come through to my cell phone, let's press F5 just to refresh the page. Alright, so can you see that the delivery status went green? So on my cell phone, I have now received the message. Okay, so what message did I send? Message preview says your number is different. In my inbox, there is nothing, so let me reply to that message quickly. I'm going to say yes, and I've just sent that message off. Alright, so do you see the message came back into my inbox on this date, which is today's date, and the tag says interest. So I'm just saying, if I click on that, my message from the client says yes. So I asked them, are you aware that the interest rates have changed? And I have replied with the word yes. So I know specifically why that person is replying. Alright, so that is basically how you send a message. Should you ever want the information in an Excel sheet to do pivot tables or reporting or so on, you can just select the information and go export. In short, that is how to send an SMS using Zoom Connect. Thank you so much for your time. Goodbye.